Dallas, Texas, SecurityGuideTV.com. Whew, end of the day, maybe our last interview. A really special interview. I'm really excited about this. We have Rachel Paskvan and Scott Neighbors, ASIS Young Professionals. I'm very excited about this. Now, I'm going to say you guys are 30-ish.
Right
Is
around
that fair?
there, yeah.
All
Correct.
Around there.
Fair way to say it, right? And I remember when I took over my first corporate job, I retired from the police department. I was 32. I hurt my back or something. Got a corporate job at Fox. I was really lucky, right? And then I went on to Disney. And I kept thinking, wow, I was that young. And I had no mentoring. Okay, here you go. You're in charge of 500 guards, and you got this giant corporate security thing, and go ahead. And your success was measured by what you didn't screw up. And nobody came in and said, here's a better way to do it. Let me talk to you about that. I did have really good bosses that helped on that. But in general, old school was like sink or swim, right? And that's why I'm interested in talking about this, because you guys won an award as young professionals.
We did.
And tell us what that was about. This is an ASIS award. And tell us what the award was for.
We won an award through the Young Professionals Council. And so what we had to do is write a 500 to 1,000-word essay on what we want to see ourselves doing here at ASIS, like what the conference is going to do for us.
Okay,
based on
interesting.
networking, anything like that, where we see ourselves later in life,
Right.
in our security careers, and why we deserve the award.
Now, you don't have to mention the company you work for. It's totally up to you. But what sectors do you guys work in? What do you
I
do?
work for AS Solutions, and I am an executive protection agent for them.
Okay, and you do?
I work for Farmers Insurance, and I do corporate security.
Oh, interesting. Oh, an insurance company, corporate security.
Yes.
Oh, very interesting. All right. What was did you write it together or were they separate essays?
Separate essays.
Oh.
There was 3 winners originally, and one was on
Okay.
below 10.
And what was your essay about?
Same thing. What
it
I
was the
wanted to
same
get
topic,
at.
I
Yeah,
see.
same
Okay.
topic.
Right.
So there were multiple applicants, and our essays were chosen.
Okay, so you guys are 30-something, so you came up with cell phones and internet and all these things that were they were new, right? But you were kind of engaged in using them. And do you find that this is kind of common to you, that you incorporate this in your day-to-day activities as working in security?
Absolutely.
Or is the security business still, 5 years behind, right? And maybe you guys get it because you're kind of the executive sector, but the guards that may work at the farmers down there on Wilshire Boulevard, not so much smartphone users, right?
That's right. The industry is heading in that direction now, with a lot of the defense contractors or military getting out of the military and coming
Right.
into the private sector, bringing those technologies that were developed during both wars and bringing it to the private sector where we can utilize those tools in a corporate environment.
Now, how do you utilize technology in your day-to-day
For
job?
me, as an executive protect agent, from day to day, I'm using different apps, from Google's Map to Waze, from driving and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Glimpse, which is a really great new app where
Oh,
you can
Glimpse, all
follow
right.
around. We've got HeyTow, which is a great walkie-talkie thing. Instead of not paying attention and texting, you're able to just talk right into the
Oh,
phone and send
fabulous.
messages like that. So different things from that to last-minute hotel apps when you need to book a flight last minute, things like that. The technology is just amazing for it.
Now, is the technology logical to you guys, or is it something that you have to think about, plug it into the security business?
I think some of the apps, my company developed an app for doing advanced work for executive protection. So AS Solutions developed an app based solely around this industry that I
Okay.
work in. So that way when you go somewhere, and even if you're new or green to the field, or if you've been doing it for 10 years, there might be things that you've skipped over that, or you wouldn't have thought of when you do your advance. And they've developed an entire app that helps you go by like a checklist of everywhere
Right.
that you go. So it's been really helpful that way. So apps are developing from different companies that way.
Now, Scott, you probably have someone with gray hair like mine, or white, actually. It's kind of white. That's either in charge of your security division, at the C level, or, maybe executive director or something. How do millennials view us? And be honest about it now. Or are you thinking, that guy, he needs to go because he's not grabbing the technology. Yeah, he has his old school ways, but what is the view of the young professionals coming up? Because in corporate security, everybody wants that guy's job.
Yep.
That's how it works, okay? And I had 2 jobs. I had Fox and Disney, and there's only 7 studios in the world. I had 2 of those jobs. I was very lucky, but everybody was always trying to cut my Achilles heels and get my job. That's just the business, right?
Right.
What's the kind of general view of the old school guys?
In my opinion, where I'm at Farmers, we have great leadership. I was amazed by their openness. I can come to them with new apps, new technologies. Here's how we can implement them, and they just want more information. I haven't been told no up front. That's not how we do
that's
things.
fabulous.
They're always looking to improve
Yeah.
the most effective way, how we can help enable our business. So it's been eye-opening since I got there.
How about you?
I've been really lucky as a woman in this industry, so there are not many women in executive
No.
protection by any means.
No.
I started at the industry contracting, was at a different company that wasn't so open to me being a woman and putting me in the field. And I was extremely lucky with AS Solutions because they brought me in, put me directly in the field where I'm at, and they support me in that manner every day just because I'm able to have a different perspective than the men.
Yeah.
I'm able to blend a little more than the men.
No,
every
that's
day.
true. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, and I'm able to do different things. So, and they're also, I mean, their entire tagline is forward thinking. So they're trying to get so many more women to come into this field because it's such a high demand right now because people are realizing through companies like them what the value is in having a woman in this industry.
Yeah, and couples too, right? So
Yes.
sometimes executive protection, you pair up like you look like a married couple.
That's the
Just
point. I can go with any of
blends
the
right
guys
in.
and I go right in.
Yeah.
I look like a nanny. I look like an EA. It
Right.
doesn't matter what I can blend right in with a lot of like the family backgrounds.
What kind of mentoring are you working with on the CSO Council here? Because this is a great program where you get to go mingle with Mike Howard was just on here, right? Microsoft. I mean, he's the guy, right? What are you guys learning when you go to those sessions over there at ASIS?
I think the point is to see where you want to get to. I think security industry is growing so much right now. It's such a rapid rate. I'm originally from Ohio. We didn't have that many, I didn't know
Right.
about a lot of these positions when I was growing up. I didn't even know about my position when I was growing
Right.
up. So when you finally get to that stage, it's amazing. You can look at these things and be like, oh, I didn't even think I could do something like that. Or maybe I'm going to want to go into a field like that. How did you get there? And a lot of times they hop from completely different career paths.
Right.
And so you're able to understand, like, I can do that also, things like that.
What about yourself?
Education. Our CSO, Chuck Bailey, he's the one, he's involved in ASIS. He got me involved, pushing other training programs, anything that can help better my career, better enable our business. He just wants us to get involved and just get all the education and the training we can get to make ourselves better, which will in turn enable our business.
Now, I've been to Ohio several times. It's, you can go buy a nice little house for $30,000. It's just, and the people are so nice.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's
Midwest.
unbelievable. Yeah, it's really a different world out there. And it's interesting you say that you didn't think these things were available. When did you first become aware of this giant security world? What kind of put a light bulb on your head? The reason I'm asking is because there's so many people that are not in security, females especially. There's a million person shortage on the cyber side, right, of people that know cyber security. And we got a million guards that don't know anything about cyber. And that we should have trained those people 10 years ago, right? And now we got this gap. And you guys are right in the middle of that because you can kind of do both. So what kind of lit a fire into you to say, boy, I want to go in that field?
I got a bachelor's in international affairs, so originally I just wanted to travel. I would have taken any job that
Yeah.
would let me go anywhere, and I got a little more focused, and I got a master's in international security because I wanted to work for the government and be any kind of analyst, mostly
Okay.
threat analyst. But unfortunately, there were hiring freezes during that time in my life. So my father actually did this for a living. He was a police officer and then executive protection agent, and he works for Lieutenant Colonel Grossman now and travels around with the Killology.
Oh, he
organization.
does with the tour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I've seen a couple of his lectures,
Yeah.
and he's a good friend of mine from Arizona. He's a good friend of his. He's a great guy.
Yeah, no, he's wonderful. So my father said, like, there's no women in this field. He's like, you could be really good at this. You're
Right.
organized. You're taking martial arts since you were little. Like, you blend really well. Like, why don't you try this?
Yeah.
So he took me around, brought me to conference after conference, networking, and I got a break and was able to go to China randomly. And
Yeah.
it worked out really well for me.
I had a female executive protection person on my show years ago, and there's such a high demand in areas, for example, the royal family of Saudi. They want females.
Yep.
Because they don't want men around their women.
Yep.
It's all logical, right? And they cannot find enough people to fill these spots.
No, it's really, really
Yeah.
hard, I think, to find women in longevity, too, to find them career
Right.
spots, because once you have a kid, we're in physical jobs. So sometimes that's a little harder, and to get people to travel a lot. So for women especially, it's a little difficult. So trying to get more women into this field and realize for companies, too, to form around us and not for us to form around the companies.
Yeah,
and
makes
be
sense.
able to help us have the longevity, help us along our careers.
And how long you
also
been
with
in
our
it?
life.
Since out of college, kind of?
Around 7 years
20s?
contracting. so
Okay.
it's
And how
20
about yourself? What got you into it? What got you that spark that said, wow, I want to be in this biz?
I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I came from the military,
Okay.
and I did not want to be a police officer.
Oh, okay.
God bless them.
Well,
I couldn't do that job.
Well, it's
So-
nowadays
Yeah,
it's
it's hard.
Yeah, I
Right.
did it for 13 years.
Give them all
It's
the
tough.
praise, but it wasn't for me.
Okay.
So I got into contract security and then worked my way through there into the corporate world.
Fantastic. Well, this has been a really interesting conversation. Rachel and Scott, ASIS Young Professionals. You can find it at asisonline.org. Whew, I'm getting kind of tired. And are you going to be out there at the booth, at the hub tomorrow in the Young Professionals? There's a booth for you guys? Or is
Yes,
there-
we'll be at the
Yeah,
hub.
We'll be at the hub.
So it's 1613 where I'm going to be tomorrow.
Yes,
You'll be out there. Okay,
there's
good.
booths and everything.
All right, so come on out there, especially if you guys are just in the business. Maybe you're just starting out, or you're an associate or something in the security department. Come out and talk to these two, because they can give you some guidance too, and then they're going to get guidance from the CSOs, and it's all going to be a nice transition. So when I'm retired, everything will be safe in the world.
Perfect.
Exactly. That's how it's going to work.
Thanks for coming on SecurityGuideTV.com. We'll be back with, I think, one more interview, Mr. Sean, at ASIS 2017. Be back soon. Thanks.